Good morning, students. Hope you all are fine. Today we are going to study the same portion. Today we are going to study the fourth section of that lesson, Bipin Chowdhury's Lapse of Memory, written by Satyajit Ray. In the previous class, we already studied the third part of the story, and today we are going to study the fourth part. So all of you take your English textbook for the class. Page number 68, fourth part, first paragraph. Getting off the train at Ranchi next morning, he realized at once that he had never been there before. He came out of the station, took a taxi, and drove around the town for a while. He realized that the streets, the buildings, the hotels, the bazaars, the Morbadi hills, with none of this had he the slightest acquaintance. Would a trip to Hudru Falls help? He didn't believe so, but at the same time, he didn't wish to leave the feeling of that he hadn't tried enough. So he arranged for a car and left for Hudru in the afternoon. Summary of this paragraph. Here, Bibin reached the Ranchi next morning, and as soon as he deboarded the train, he was sure that he had never visited that particular place before. He took a taxi as he came out of this railway station and roamed around in the town for a while. He had never seen those buildings, hotels, markets, or Morbadi hills ever before. He was not sure if the train to the Hudru Falls would make any difference, but he just didn't want to leave with a feeling of not having tried enough. Thus, he arranged for a taxi to Hudru and he left in the afternoon. Next, page number 69, first paragraph. At 5 o'clock the same afternoon in Hudru, two Gujarati gentlemen from a group of picnickers discovered Bipin Babu lying unconscious beside a boulder. When he came around, the first thing Bipin Babu said was, "I am finished. There is no hope left." Next morning, Bipin Babu was back in Calcutta. He realized that there was truly no hope for him. Soon he would lose everything: his will to work, his confidence, his ability, his balance of mind. Was he going to end up in the asylum at? Bipin Babu couldn't think anymore. Back home, he rang up dear Dr. Chanda, and asked him to come over. Then, after a shower, he got into bed with an ice bag clamped on his head. Just then, the servant brought him a letter with someone had left in the letters box, a greenish envelope with his name red ink on it. Above the name, it said urgent and confidential. In spite of his condition, Bipin Babu had feeling that had ought to go through the letter. He tore open envelope and took out of the letter. This is what he read. Summary. It was around 5 o'clock the same afternoon when two Gujarati men who had come with a group of picnickers found Bipin Babu lying unconscious beside a large rock. When he regained his consciousness, his first word were, "I am finished, there is no hope left." Bipin Babu had realized that there was no hope left for a situation like his, so he came back to Kolkata. The next morning, he began to worry about how he might lose everything: his interest in works, confidence, abilities, and peace of mind. Heaven wanted that he could end up in an asylum. If the situation worsened, he he had exhausted his ability to think anymore by that time. As he was now at home, He contacted Dr. Chanda and requested him to visit him at his place. He took a shower and got in the bed with an ice bag on his head. It was only then that his servant brought him a letter that he had found in the letter box. The envelope was green in color with his name written on it in a red ink. The envelope read urgent and confidential. Above his name, regardless of how he felt at that moment, Bipin Babu would anticipate that he should open and read this letter. Thus he tore open envelope and took out of the letter. Page number 17, second last paragraph. Yes, Pipin, I had no idea that the affluence would bring about kind of change in you that it has done. Was it so difficult for you to help out an old friend down on his luck? I have no money, so my resources are limited. What I have is imagination, a part of which I used in retribution of your unfeeling behavior, in retribution of means as a punishment. Well, you will be you will be all right again now. A novel I have written is being considered by a publisher. If he like it enough, it will see me through the next few months. Yours, Chanilal. When Dr. Chanda came, Bibin Babu said, I am fine. It all come back as soon as I got off train at Ranchi. A unique case, said Dr. Chanda. I shall certainly write about it in a medical journal. The reason why I sent for this sent for you, said Bibin Babu, is that I have a pain in the hip from a fall I had in Ranchi. If you could prescribe a painkiller. Satyajit Rai. Summary of this paragraph. The letter began with a salutation to Bibin. The writer of the letter had further shown disappointment at how wealth had changed Bibin Babu. He says that it was unexpected. In the letter, Chanilal asked him if it had become so difficult for him to help his childhood friend. He further adds that he was scarcity of resources as he had no money and all he had was imagination which he used to take a revenge for Bibin Babu. He reveals that Bibin would be a fine now. He also tells him that a novel that Chanilal had written is being considered by a publisher. He will have enough money for the next few months. It he publishes likes a approve of it. When Dr. Chanda came to see him, Bipin Babu revealed that he had got his memory of the Ranchi trip from 58 back. It all came running back as he got off the train. Dr. Chanda remarked it as a unique case and informs that he will add this in his medical journal. Bipin Babu tells the doctor that he called him to prescribe him a painkiller for the pain he has in his trip. Okay, students, today is your homework is you have to read the fully lesson. Then only you can understand that story. The next class you have to ready for your grammar class, and next class we will take the first chapter of the grammar. So all of you ready for that class. Thank you, children.